You know, my parents the whole time were like, what are you going to do with your life? You got to go to college, blah, 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 blah. And then I made the same money as my dad before I got out of high school. And I was like, oh, you can actually do this. Yeah. This is actually, you know, it can work. Yeah. And at that point, I like made the choice. I'm going to leave school. I don't know how yet, though. Yeah, I got out of high school, went to Thailand that summer. Sweet. And then moved to LA 2 weeks after that. Literally came to LA with like 2 suitcases. That was it. It was one of the craziest things I've ever done. There's a freedom and a control and autonomy that I have freelancing that I didn't have before. I can set my own hours. So if me and my girlfriend like want to go to Universal today, I could do that and then either not work today or work tonight. Now that I've been freelancing, like I might work 2 hours a day. The 4-hour work week is my life. Yeah. I'm gonna be 20 on Friday.
20 on Friday. Hey guys, I'm sitting with Mason Tompkins here, who's he's a college opt-out, which he didn't in high school. He chose that college wasn't for him, and now he's doing pretty well for himself. He worked for Vayner Media for a while, and now he's on his own with his own clients. And to start off, I want to start with a story of how I met this guy. And so every year I go to this conference called HustleCon, and I go there because every year there's one speaker that's really knocks it out of the park. And
it's Tom for you.
And it was Tom. It was Tom Bilyeu. For those who don't know, he's the co-founder of Quest Nutrition, which make those really delicious protein bars. And now he's starting a media company called Impact Theory, where he interviews the most successful people in different fields and kind of dissects different areas of what's working for them. And so at the end of Tom's talk, he announced that he would be doing a Q&A in the lobby, and he would be answering questions until we didn't have questions anymore.
At the end of every talk that I give, I will stand out in the lobby, today included, and I will answer your questions for as long as there are questions to answer.
And sure enough, he was in the lobby. He was surrounded by a swarm of people, like, I don't know, like 30 people around him. And that's when I see this guy on the outside of this swarm of people with a camera filming Tom. And I'm like curious at first. And then when I got to the front of the line, I asked Tom, who's that guy? who's that guy over there, like recording everything? He's like, oh, he's my video guy, and Vayner Media assigned him to me. And you know what? Like, you know, the most interesting thing, this guy's only 19 years old. And I was like, I have to talk to this guy. And so I did, and tried to make conversation. And he was busy, so he told me, hey man, I'm working right now, but hit me up on Instagram and we can.
I always feel bad when I have to do that. When people like want to talk, like I love talking at those events and like meeting people, but then especially with Tom, there was actually one time with Tom, I was talking to somebody and I missed a shot. It was like the second time I ever filmed with him. He like got pissed. Oh,
I'm sure.
And so I was like, nope, can't do that anymore. But,
yeah, I mean, totally got it, and we connected in the end. Mm-hmm. So we'll get back to the video stuff later, but I want to start in high school. If you could go back and I know you already had like a couple, small businesses that were profitable, right? So
yeah, so I was always entrepreneurial. When I was in like I think my freshman year, I was selling like iPhone cases because there was something I wanted to get. I don't remember what it was. I was like, how can I get the money for this? And I can get it from my parents
on eBay.
No, I essentially I went to like this Chinese wholesaler and got these iPhone cases that were a lot like life proofs, and then I sold them to my friends for like half the price of the life proof, and I was making like, gosh, I was like quintupling my money because what I was selling them for. But anyway, so there was something I wanted to buy, and so I made the money that way and that kind of thing. So I've always been like that a little bit. And then, so in high school, I started a media company called Vayner Media. And so initially the idea was I wanted to be like a media publishing house. And I had friends actually who were music producers. I wanted to be able to hire them out and like do recordings and stuff like that. And I wanted to, make videos and commercials and all this stuff. So I started doing that in my small town in Kentucky, working at this church at the time, and actually made a commercial for them. I just kind of knew people. And in a small town, like everybody knows you.
Yeah.
And I was also making these videos myself for like the school that I was at. I had 2 or 3 videos go kind of like small town viral, where everybody in the town saw it. It was like 4,000 views ish. And so like in a small town, it was everybody in a small town. And so I literally like would go a town over and get recognized. It was this really weird thing because that's not a lot of views.
Yeah.
But it was all concentrated this like little area.
Yeah.
And so I would get recognized in the street. It was a really weird feeling. Kind of cool though. And yeah, there's actually this one moment, or this 1 month, I got like this big client right before I was going to graduate. And at this point, I like didn't really know if I was going to be able to do this full time or anything. And I actually made the same amount of money that month as my dad.
Oh, shit.
And, you know, my parents the whole time were like, what are you going to do with your life? You got to go to college, blah, 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 blah. And then I made the same money as my dad before I got out of high school. And it was like, oh, you can actually do this. Yeah. This is actually, you know, it can work. This client was, she was a personal branding client, Cy Wakeman. She was my first big client. And essentially what happened was, it's actually kind of a funny story. I was following Gary Vee and really into his stuff. And that was why I was starting to try and do a business around video. Because he said this line, it was bet on your strengths. Yeah. Like, I'm good at this, let me bet on it. Let me like really try to do it and make money. And so I was following him. His videographer, D-Rock, tweeted out that somebody was, or retweeted someone in her company saying that like they were looking for a video person. And so I literally just replied to the tweet. I said, I'm interested, period. And then he DM'd me. We got on a call, and then like 3 calls later, I had the job. She was looking to do like personal branding content similar to Gary. And so we basically just like started a content model based on what Gary was doing. Like, oh, he's got a vlog, let's do a vlog. As a lot of people end up doing.
Yeah.
And so yeah, she paid me really, really well, like right out the gate.
So this was senior year of high school.
Senior year of high school through about halfway through film school.
Cool. So you didn't completely opt out at the end of high school. You decided to go to film school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got out of high school, went to Thailand that summer,
Sweet.
And then moved to LA 2 weeks after that. Literally came to LA with like 2 suitcases. That was it. It was one of the craziest things I've ever done. I went to film school. Met my girlfriend Chamberlain in film school.
And this is what, a 2-year program, or?
Yeah, so I was in a 3-year program for a bachelor's degree. And so there's no like summer breaks or anything like that. You just go
so it's like an intensive. It is a bachelor actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it's 3 years.
Okay. Yeah, 3 years straight, no breaks. I was there for about 6 months, and then at 6 months we went into this new class, and this woman who's one of the teachers comes in. And she like was a successful producer and everything, and she had actually gone through the exact program that I was in. And so at first it was like really cool because you know, this person has been in the exact shoes that I'm in and is now successful on the other side of it and coming back to teach us. Yeah. And so like that's amazing, right? She gets up on the stage because we were in a movie theater, right? That was where we had class a lot of times. She gets up on the stage. She says, "I just want to let you guys know, I want to tell you the truth about the industry. You're gonna go out. You're gonna know exactly what you're doing. You're going to be really good at what you do. You're going to be ready to shoot feature films. This school is amazing. Mm-hmm. But as soon as you get out of here, you're going to start as a PA, a production assistant, which is like getting coffee for people. Yeah. You're going to start there, and you're going to have to work your way up like everyone else as if you never went to film school. Yeah. The only difference is you're going to know your stuff before you get there." And I was like, then why am I here? Like, I've already learned faster on my own. And at that point, I like made the choice. I'm going to leave school. I don't know how yet, though, because at that point, if I had dropped out right there, I would have had no rent money. I would have like had no clients. I mean, I would have been screwed.
So you need a plan, is what you're saying, right?
I needed a client. Yeah. That was the thing. So I started just emailing tons and tons of people. Like I remember emailing this one like 3D design company and being like, content is the new way forward, and like trying to get them as a client and never got a response. But I was just emailing like. Just random people,
grinding,
right?
Business development.
Yeah, and then I was watching Daily V one day, Gary's daily video, and D-Rock, I don't even know why he left this in the edit, but he said something about he was like telling Gary, hey, we got to find somebody in LA. And I heard that, and I was like, are they looking for videographers in LA? And so I emailed D-Rock, and I'm like, hey, I'm your guy, like, I see that you need something, like, I'm telling you, I'm in LA, like, I love your stuff, like, it's me. And no response. I sent 7 versions of that email with like work examples from Cy Wakeman, who is that one personal branding client, like 7 emails, and finally got a response. He's like, oh, hey, we should hop on a call. Because he finally looked at my work examples. That's awesome. And then I was like, cool, I'm available anytime when you want to hop on. no response. Another 7 emails later, and he finally is like gives me time. Let's get on a call. So it was a call with him, a call with Lindsay, the head of Vayner Talent, and then I did a test shoot and waited like 2 weeks, and then finally got the job. And that job, essentially, I was in film school throughout this entire process. And the moment I got the call saying, "Hey, all your paperwork is done. Like you can come in and work tomorrow," I literally was like in class when I got that call, and I walk up to my teacher and I'm like, "Hey, I just want to let you know I'm not gonna be here tomorrow because I just got a job."
And I'm dropping out.
Yeah, it was so funny. I was like, "I'm literally dropping out tomorrow." He's like, "Oh, okay." It was really cool though because he was one of the coolest teachers I had.
He was supportive of that.
Yeah, he was like, "Good job,
great,
like great. You don't need film school. Get out of here.
Stop wasting your time here."
Yeah. And so, and then I went to work at Vayner, which was its own thing.
Yeah, indeed. That goes to show you persistence goes a long way.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people would stop at like maybe one follow up even, which is most people don't even follow up,
Yeah.
But because I mean, even me personally, I would be scared of like, oh, dude, this might sound like harassment.
Yeah.
Like sending 9 emails, this guy is gonna think I'm crazy,
Yeah.
But we're only the 8th email worked.
Yeah.
So what did you gain from that experience? Like, would you recommend trying to get a gig like that at Vayner Talent?
I would 100% recommend it. It didn't pay amazingly, but rightfully so, especially in the beginning, because I learned a ton there. A big part of working at Vayner was I would make things, and then my supervisor would give me edits on it, and he always gave me really good feedback on my videos. He would point out like, these things don't make sense for the story, this could be a little tighter, like there's a transition here missing, like whatever. And I would at first I was like, God, I hate feedback. But then you make the changes and you're like, wow, this is way better now. And you realize like you need that outsider input.
You need that feedback.
And then you also learn a lot about like, I didn't do a lot of client communication at the beginning because at that time I was like 17-year-old. Now it's like I can work with people who are very corporate because I understand that like language and that way of working.
Cool. Now you're freelancing. How is that different?
So what I like about freelancing is, it's a few things. I don't have managers, which is great because I don't have like someone breathing down my neck.
Yeah.
That's a weird way to put that. I don't have somebody making sure that I'm working. I get to do a lot of things myself, and there's something about that autonomy that I love that I didn't have at Vayner. I can set my own hours. So today, if I want to go to, I have a season pass to Universal Studios.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so if me and my girlfriend like want to go to Universal today, I could do that and then either not work today or work tonight. And so like I have that like flexibility with my time. If somebody like needs to hop on a call or something, like I can say, oh, I can't do it today. Like for whatever reason. It's just like there's a freedom and a control and autonomy that I have freelancing that I didn't have before.
Yeah. An interesting thing about like having that flexibility is, because I'm big into kind of having side hustles, you have your source of income and then you have projects that are kind of like your passion projects. And before you're telling me about these, I mean, kind of what's your plan for the future as far as doing potentially documentaries or series? Can you talk about a little more about that, about how that freedom of time allows you to work on these side projects?
It's interesting you mentioned freedom of time because that was exactly the key. While I was at Vayner, I was working 8, 9, sometimes like 14 hours a day on some days. And I was doing like my art as my job for like 8, 9 hours a day for other people. I had zero like creative juice left to come home and then do my own thing. So my YouTube channel went dead. I never tried to do a podcast. I never like thought about the films that I wanted to make. I never wrote a script during that time, anything, because all that creative juice was gone. So now that I've been freelancing, like I might work 2 hours a day. Like that's about it. It's about to go up a little bit because I'm a new client, but
to most people that sounds crazy. Like I can't even imagine.
Like the 4-hour work week is my life. But it just doesn't take me that long to do the things that I need to do, and I get paid significantly more now for the same things, and so I don't work that much. And that means that I have this time, and I still want to be productive, and I really want to get back to that like art of things. And so, I've thought about, you mentioned the documentary that I've thought about, because really that comes from, I like am on this ketogenic diet, and it's been so transformative for my health that it's ridiculous. And like I literally, everyone I talk to, everybody that meets me, like they'll see me eat like a ketogenic meal, which is just high fat and a lot of meat. And like, what the fuck is that? And I'm like, yeah, it's ketogenic. It's like, it's amazing. And I tell everybody about it. It's ridiculous. But I have like this desire to really share like my experience and the science of it and like kind of dispel some of those myths in like, a documentary. That's a really interesting idea to me right now. So I'm thinking about, is that what I actually want to do? And how would I go about it and that kind of thing.
So to finish, I want to ask you, like, what advice do you have for someone that's currently in college or maybe in high school that's not sure if college is for them? They're able to, they kind of have like already a skill or like a passion that they're really excited about. Like, what advice do you have for that kid?
I'll give you my experience, right? When I was in high school, I was going to school 8 hours a day. And then in classes where I didn't have to do anything or after school, on the weekends, I was making videos. And so there were days where I would go to school 8 hours and then I would go home, film a video, edit that for 2 hours, put it out that night. And like that was, I wasn't even making money off of YouTube videos or anything at that point. I was just like doing it because I liked it and I was getting better at it, right? I was just practicing by doing my own stuff. So like, there's one thing. You don't always have to get paid to learn or to do the work, right? Just like do it for yourself. I was in college and I made the decision, I need to drop out, right? So what I did was I was still making my own stuff. And I essentially just got clients. I was like, let me reach out to everyone that I know and I'll put in an extra few hours a day to be able to work on this client stuff on top of school, right?
What do you think of like working for free in the beginning?
Working for free just feels weird to me. So what I would say is rather than work for free for somebody else, like do some things for yourself and then use that, like make it really, really good, put time into it and then show it to someone who could be a potential client. Like that's what I did and that worked. And so I never had to work for a client for free. We all have to pay bills. So I would say do the free stuff for yourself and then make it so good that people want to hire you to do that for them. That's my real advice.
All right. Well, I hope that was helpful, guys. This guy's only, how old are you, 20?
I'm going to be 20 on Friday.
20 on Friday, guys. He's doing better than a lot of people that are 5 years out of college and still struggling to find work they enjoy and that they can get paid for. So definitely take this guy's advice into consideration. And until next time.